46H, Real True Education, Not Fake News. It's the 23rd of July 2022. You're very welcome back to Real True Education, Not Fake News video channel. This is about the Ukraine, and as it goes on and as we get more time, I had time to do a bit of research, speak to people who employ Ukrainians and people who know Ukrainians. Ukraine was never a natural country and was never a happy country. There has been rackets in it forever. It was never a proper national country as such. Its people are very hard working and good. They're good people. Given a proper country and properly run, they would make great work there. They do their best. Now, Zelensky is, in my view, a United States puppet, and he's Jewish. Normally his religion shouldn't matter. There were some good Jewish Irishmen, but it's very suspicious that he's Jewish, because the Jews and the Americans are hand in glove. The Americans are totally committed to the security of the State of Israel, and the State of Israel relies on America for its security. Irrespective of what the State of Israel does, no matter what atrocity it commits, it's completely covered by the United States, for now anyway. Okay? Now, I know Israel is the only proper democracy in the area. That has to be said, I know all that. But how did the president end up being a Jewish man whose entire way of thinking is pro-American? Now, they came along after the revolution in 2014, and they stripped the Russian population of all their self-esteem. They went bald-headed after the Russian population and to destroy them and drive them out and do anything they could. And they banned their language being taught in school. They left life intolerable for the areas where the Russian people were. What's happening and what has happened is nothing less than a plan by the United States and NATO, which is the same thing, a plan to provoke Russia into a war, to oust President Putin, to bring about disarray and mayhem in Russia, and weaken it as a rival to the United States. As they say, America, the United States, it will fight this war to the last Ukrainian soldier, not to the last United States soldier, but to the last Ukrainian soldier. It's very similar to Northern Ireland. You can imagine in the morning if a United Ireland was brought in. Let's say that there was a referendum and the people voted for United Ireland. A certain amount of the Northern Unionists might emigrate abroad or back to Britain or whatever. A certain amount might, but if they stayed on, they would expect to be treated by the Republic of Ireland the same as the Protestant population or the Unionist population in the Republic were treated when the new state came in. Now, the new state might not have been perfect, but it did protect everybody. The Constitution guaranteed everybody civil and religious liberty. And in fairness, that sort of was abided by, that was followed. Now, in Odessa, in southern Ukraine, and in other cities this happened, but in this particular city, the Russian population turned out to protest with banners and flags and hooters and shouting, "We want our rights." They thought that the protest would be heated. So what happened? A crowd of Nazi right-wing yobos came on the scene and attacked them, and most of them ran into a big building in front. And when they got them in, they followed them up to beat them and kill them up in the building. And they ran up to the top and they set the building on alight to burn them alive in the building. And some of them jumped out to their deaths. Now, the order was given by the Ukrainian government, which is the same government as the present one. Zelensky and the previous government are the same sows pigs. Same sows pigs. They ordered the police not to intervene. They ordered the police not to intervene. They provoked genocide. They promoted the killing of their own countrymen who happen to be of Russian speaking and Russian origin. You won't hear that on radio, television, BBC or CNN. That is what happened. That is what happened. And this was a deliberate ploy by the United States and NATO to bring about a situation where President Putin would have to act. He would have to act. It is possible that President Trump and Putin would have fixed up something on this. This probably wouldn't happen. Trump would probably be more assertive militarily, but he would also probably listen to what Putin's grievances were. Not much hope with the present Democratic criminal Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden, who pilfered all they could. They pilfered all they could out of it. Now Finland and Sweden are running to NATO. The jitters is up them. The wind is up them. There's something else up them as well. These are the model people that are telling us how to live our lives. What danger is there of Russia invading either Finland or Sweden? Sweden invites the whole of Africa into their country, and they have the highest murder rate and rape rate in Europe. So why are they so afraid of a few Russians when they want everybody else? There's no doubt Russia would not touch either country. They were trading with them, giving them electricity, gas and everything else. Russia has no grievance with Finland or Sweden. Finland and Sweden are being taken for a ride by the United States, getting them into NATO so NATO can expand and provoke Russia more. That's what's happening, and they're falling for it. Hook, line and sinker. And their old swanky, oh, we're all women government and all these. There is no need for it. It's all a plan to provoke Russia. The EU is being used by the United States. It's being used by the United States. They never thought through any of what they've done. Biden and the son were plundering the Ukraine. Biden laptop and all of this. So essentially what's happening is the result of the Americans provoking a proxy war in the Ukraine to grab all the resources, to install NATO in there, to put the European Union, which is another puppet of the American Democratic Party, in charge. Take all the assets, take all the minerals, take all the oil, take all the grain and control this, and deny Russia access to its shipping routes. That's the plan. That's what's going on there. I have no doubt that's the situation. This was all preventable. What is President Putin meant to do? Sit back and let them walk all over him? It's a danger. He has threatened nuclear war. Nobody would threaten a nuclear war unless they were seriously provoked. What a lot of people in the West want is to see Russia lie down and become a backwater. Russia has a lot of good resources. It has a lot going for it. Yes, it fell for communism. There's no doubt about that. And human rights are not that good there. It's not a proper democracy. But I think while the United States and the European Union and Britain are conniving to destroy Russia, Russia is conniving with China and many other countries and India to sidestep and leave the United States with nothing, with no influence. That could happen. It's not going to happen yet. Folks, the hard fact is, if it quacks or has web feet and walks with a wobble, it's almost certainly a duck. It's almost certainly a duck. You and I are being lied to, and I urge you, take no more of it. Tell your friends and tell your neighbours we're being lied to. This would not happen if the proper diplomacy, if there had been proper engagement, if there had been security for the Russian people. Why didn't the United Nations do something about it before it got to this stage? The grandiose, the lovely fella, Zelensky, is nothing more than an extension of the Jewish state and a puppet for the United States, and that's quite clear. And he's been used, and the people are being used, and so many people have lost their lives and so much property destroyed because of this provocation. That's a very serious allegation for me to make, but just think of it. Think of it yourself. Just think of it. How did this all happen? They got the warning with the Crimea, which has a majority Russian population. If we got United Ireland in the morning, we would have to look after all in Northern Ireland and the Republic. Every nationality, and the nationalists and the unionists would have to be treated equally before the law and before the administration and given fair play. That's what the nationalist minority in Northern Ireland craved for many years, and they're finally coming around to getting it. That was denied to the Russian people in the Ukraine. And this is the inevitable result. When you deny people like that, when you back them into a wall, what's going to happen? Only violence. What happened in Northern Ireland when people were denied their human rights? Violence. What happened in the southern states of America when they were denied their human rights back in the 60s? Violence and protest. And what does the Russian people do in the Ukraine when they find them being oppressed? They protest. And what happens? They're murdered by their countrymen. That's the hard fact. To hell with the Americans. To hell with them. They're nothing more than a crowd of users. It's time to clip their wings. To put Gaddafi out for what? What has been gained by getting rid of Gaddafi in Libya? A country with massive resources and massive wealth and massive oil. It's a deadly dangerous place at the minute. I know people from there. You open your mouth, you'll be killed, the same as when Gaddafi's there. Yet the United States has no problem with it. Folks, thumbs up, thumbs down, comment underneath. We'll see you back for something else.